got started in art in high school. I had a couple of good instructors. One encouraged me to use a lot of different mediums, and then one encouraged me to apply for college. And originally, I wasn't even thinking about college. So me looking into the career path and looking into colleges and figuring out what kind of college I wanted to go to, I chose Memphis College of Arts. And Memphis College of Arts was a way for me to continue to explore all of the different mediums. It was in a vibrant city that added to what I was thinking about and who I was as a person. While I was there, I met a lady by the name of Brenda Joy Smith, who had a space and who was already an established artist. And with that experience of working along her side and listening to conversations that were being had in their space, that opened the doors for me to really think about this as a career, and seeing someone that was already doing it, that was like the icing on the cake. The way I got into portraiture is, for me, I think it was always a way for me to understand myself through the things around me. I always drew what I saw around me as a kid, so portraiture was natural, being that, you know, you're paying attention to family members, to friends, people in the community, and I always just drew the things around me, so people were like a natural thing for me to connect to. And then it was important for me because in my work, I want to make work that's accessible, and the human body is one of the most accessible things for anybody. Whether they have a negative or positive feel about it, it still is something that's easy to access, and then from there, that being a starting place to kind of really work into some deeper ideas. So it gives me a way to kind of play around with high-end, low-end art, the whole ideal of that, and then kind of like muddy the waters around that concept of high art, low art, taking people that are underrepresented in these white cube spaces and really pushing some further ideas with that. Just like the title for the show is Power of Sight, I think it also plays into that ideal of the power of representation and seeing somebody that looks like you or not like you, and what that does to expand how you appreciate people that in that space, and then putting them in certain spaces also adds to that idea of like what challenging like your own personal biases, and we all have certain biases towards people, and then it doesn't matter where they come from. Just we do have those biases, and it's important to like continue like conversations and ideas to expand how we think about people when we see people, and the importance of what comes out of that. I think that's important to me. I do like model calls, sometimes through social media, sometimes through an organization, and depending on like where I'm traveling and what project I'm working on is how the kind of demographics of the folks kind of are the location of where the people come from. And the work happens. So like in this show, Power of Sight, I have people from Lafayette, Louisiana, Memphis, Tennessee, Dothan, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, Monroe, Louisiana, New Orleans, and so on and so on. So I've worked with people from all across the country. From the process of being selected, I take about 30 to 50 photographs of them, and then in me selecting the photographs, I look for like little nuances of things that you can't really describe, but when you see the photograph, you know that's the one that you want to take. Sometimes when you do the photo shoots, they are a little nervous, and the ones that they're nervous, you can kind of see, and those aren't usually the ones that you pick, but the ones where they kind of have this little glimpse of confidence or a little smirk, just the little things, and those are the ones that usually get selected and are painted. So in the photo shoots, I try to give them as much agency as possible in the photographs. I give them instructions on like maybe posing left, posing right, looking up, looking down. But other than that, they kind of bring their own energy to the shoot, their own swag to the shoot, like how they dress, how they wear their hair. I usually don't ask them. I ask them not to smile, so it's not like a glamour shot. It's more about them as a person, and in that, we usually get some really good photographs that really have a lot more personality. Shows their dignity, and it becomes a real unique experience. And during the photo shoots, I ask a lot of questions. Talk to them about life, about who they are, and in a lot of senses, we become friends. So I kind of follow them and on social media and have conversations. And then after the photographs are painted, I usually tag them or send them like in progress photographs so they can see like how things are kind of coming along. And at the exhibitions, they bring family members and things of that nature, and they're like crazily amazed by the photographs because they originally just imagine it being, I guess, like small paintings, and then when they come into the space and they see these huge paintings of themselves, they kind of get blown away. The series is about being in comparison to like gold and the whole ideal of like gold standard and how gold is a measuring tool to wealth or the value of something. The title Gold Everything comes from a rapper named Trinidad James. And in my work, I like to take a lot of hip hop ideas and use them in my work, kind of flipping them. And for me, it's about expanding this whole ideal of what art theory is. The way we're taught in school only comes from like this European kind of perspective. And for me, it's a way of kind of flipping that and using it. it's a thing of self-centering myself in that kind of ideal of art theory and using it in a different way. So Trinidad James' song "Art Go Everything" was a popular song. This flamboyant ideal of like being braggadocious about gold, having on gold rings and gold chains. And for me, I'm taking that whole idea and using the people as this kind of like thing to brag about, and they're participating in this kind of idea. So Go Everything is just about taking the whole ideal of gold and how gold has been used in history, the gold frames that most portraits were decorated in, taking those gold frame ideas and using it in this work. So the gold frames in my work aren't actual gold frames. They're kind of faux frames. They're not perfectly fitted on the canvases. They're falling off the canvases. They're not quite put together correctly. And that's about the imperfect history of portraiture, being that most people weren't able to participate in this history of portraiture, and now this is kind of like about expanding that ideal around it and continuously pushing some things. When you look at my gold frames, you got to look real close, but they're kind of fun. It's a way for me to be put a little bit more of my personality in it, make them more contemporary, because some of the images are memes, some of the images are playful, like icons. So yeah, it's a way for me to also joke around with this history and make it fun and more contemporary. I get asked this question all the time. How long does it take to paint a portrait, one of my portraits? And from beginning to end, it could be 16 hours to about 40 hours. But one of my mentors always said that it takes a lifetime. It takes up to that moment that painting is finished, because you learn so many things in the process, and all of those things that you learn come to the portrait when you're working that work. And if you look at some of the photographs, some of the paintings, you'll see like words or like icons or little stars or motifs or whatever. And those are usually cut out of pink foam, and I'm stamping those on top of the painting. So for me, it gives me a way to be a graphic designer, but in this more kind of traditional way of graphic design versus like the computer. So it gives me a way to put my hand into the work. It's never like perfect. Once I do the stamps, you don't know if it's gonna come out all white or it's gonna come out spotted, and it gives it kind of this age look. It's kind of like mimicking the hip hop aesthetic of the album covers. They are also playing into this history of portraiture. They're also playing into this ideal of gold and history, Byzantine, how African countries also use gold, and all these other marginalized folks use gold in their societies. So it kind of plays into a lot of things, and the importance of also realizing that important conversations have happened in all kind of communities.